Hello guys, this is going to be a do's and don'ts for Rainbow River. If you're planning a trip soon, some of you are going to be coming out with us, in a week and a half. We're going to have a big event here, so we're going to go over some rules, some do's and don'ts on Rainbow River, and this pretty much applies to a lot of the springs and rivers in the state of Florida. As you can see behind me, it is pristine water, and the way they keep it that way is with rules, and they expect everybody to follow them. So one of the biggest rules is no disposable containers of any kind. That includes water bottles, it includes food containers. You cannot throw it away, it needs to be reusable. So let me go ahead and show you what I mean. For containers for beverages, you need to have reusable containers like these. I do usually pack one huge one to refill my smaller one because you will get hot and you'll go through a lot of water. Another thing is pack a cooler. And then this is what I mean for the disposable containers. So it's the reusables that can be washed. Everything needs to be taken out of wrappers and then put in here as well. Okay, so another thing that you can know is at the head springs, once it fills to capacity, they're not going to let anybody else in. If you leave the park, so if you decide to start over here, and let me go ahead and show you where the swim area is and also the kayak rental. But if you decide to start up here and you go down without a shuttle service, you can't get back in the park when they hit capacity. So let me go ahead and show you what I mean. Swim area right here. When you're inside the park, the only area you're allowed to swim in is where these ropes are. So you're not allowed to be, this area right here, this is the very start of the river, so you can't just hop in over here and go underneath the ropes. All right, now, this is considered Rainbow Springs State Park. You can also launch from here, you can rent kayaks here and travel down either, the first stopping point would be the campground if you're staying at the campground, or KP Hole, and then after that is going to be the tubing area. After that is going to be Blue Run. But just look at how beautiful that water is, you guys. I mean, it is seriously, it's stunning up here. And if you have never made a trip to the head springs, I totally suggest you do. Now, one thing I will tell you is when you hop off of your kayak or your board or your tube to snorkel, looks can be deceiving. This water looks really, really shallow. It's not. It's extremely deep. But the water is just crystal clear, so you can see everywhere. Those who are wanting to start off at the head springs, the top of Rainbow River, their kayak area to rent is right over here. So right here, you're gonna just enter the park. It's got signs everywhere. You're gonna walk down the trails, and then they have canoe rentals here. They have kayaks, they have paddle boards. This is not a spot that rents tubes. Oh, that poor guy just popped his tube. That sucks. So anyway, this is an area where you can launch your own stuff and get down here as well. Okay, another thing that I also want to make you aware of is KP Hole no longer allows personal tubes. You have to pay to rent the tubes and either pay to be shuttled back up or bring your car back. You can shuttle each other and have one person leave a car at KP, another one down at Blue Run at the bottom of the river, and then just drive back. But the only downside to that is there are time limits to stuff. So if you're taking the shuttle, if you're renting equipment from KP Hole, make sure that you read the information carefully and that you get that equipment back when it's due time to get back, or that you were down to the shuttle pickup point at Blue Run before the last shuttle runs, because trust me, it's a long walk, y'all. Okay, boating safety. This is something that a lot of people who are new to the sport of kayaking and paddle boarding, even just tubers, they really don't understand how it works out on the river. So you need to be paying attention. You are on top of the water. You're gonna see people who are snorkeling here. You're gonna see divers here. and also boats. So you truly need to pay attention. You need to get out of the way. If a boat is coming, a motorized vessel, then you need to, you know, move to the right of way. If they're on the right side, move to the left. But they can't move nearly as fast as you can. They also, because they're stuck at idle speeds, they also cannot maneuver as quickly as you can. So you really have to pay attention. You know, there's been a lot of times where somebody is renting a kayak or a paddleboard and they just plow over somebody who is snorkeling down the river because they're not paying attention and they don't know how to properly maneuver a kayak or a paddleboard. So, you know, don't feel like you have to just haul tail down there. Kind of get your groove, figure out what you're doing first, and get comfortable before you really start taking off, because it's your responsibility to be aware of snorkelers and divers and not hit them. Okay, another thing that you need to be aware of is sunscreen. Don't put your sunscreen on and then jump right in the water. It's so bad for the waterways. Make sure that it has time to actually soak into your skin, which usually for most it's like 15 minutes. So, you know, don't forget to apply your sunscreen, because trust me, you will get burnt on this river. I mean, the glare and the heat that's coming off. Y'all, this is Florida. We have two types of weather here. We have hot and we have holy snot brutal hot. That's it. So don't forget your sunscreen. Trust me, you'll thank me later. You're going to probably have to reapply a couple of times. There are, you know, points along the river where you can pull off. You can tie off. You can get in the water. If you're tubing down the river, snorkel most of it. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It literally, man, it's unlike anything y'all are ever going to see. Another rule you have to be aware of, and I will tell you, especially on the weekends, they do have the sheriff patrolling out on the boat, is no alcohol is allowed at all on the river. They are very strict about this. The reason why, alcohol and water just don't mix, y'all. It's way too crowded. People end up, you know, getting stupid, getting buzzed, getting drunk, and then there's accidents and, you know, stuff happens. So there is no alcohol allowed on the waterway at all. And I believe that a lot of them are that way. So if you're going to be heading up to a different spring or even a beach, make sure that you check the local website and see if that is something that is a rule there as well. Here's another rule for you. And I honestly, I can't believe they even have to tell you this, and this is a rule. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people who just lack common sense in this world. Here we go. Don't touch the gators. Don't try to catch the gators. Don't feed the gators. Leave the gators alone. They're in nature. You can't feed them because we don't want them getting so used to people that they are not afraid of people. Right now, they won't come near you. I mean, I'm not suggesting come in this water at nighttime, because that would just be really stupid. And never, ever, ever swim in dark water in Florida. However, during the day, when they hear a lot of people, guess what? They get scared and they take off. So, number one, there's nothing to be afraid of with gators in our waterways. But number two, please don't touch them. Don't try to capture them. Don't throw them food. Just admire them from a distance and leave them alone. Unfortunately, there's some really dumb people that visit our rivers. And no joke, last weekend, all of these teenage guys were actually trying to catch a baby gator. He was only about 4 feet long. And it's just, guys, it's wrong on so many levels. It's just mean. Don't do it. Because if you get caught, it's a fat fine in the state of Florida. All right, y'all, here we go. Last rule. Again, I can't believe I have to say this, but again, there's people who lack common sense. I don't know, maybe they weren't taught manners when they were younger. But here you go. The docks on the river, those are people's private properties. Stay off them. Don't dock there. Don't try to use it to jump off to swim. That is people's homes. Don't do it. You'd be shocked. You may be thinking what? People seriously do that? Yeah, all the time. And hello, it's their property. Like, stay off of their houses. Don't go on their lawns. When you come on Rainbow River, you're allowed to stay on the river. You can't get off in people's lawns. You can't use their docks. You can't mess with their stuff. You know, so that's the thing. And here's another food for thought, right? If people didn't do all this stuff, like, we wouldn't have so many rules. But obviously, you know, the select few always ruin it for everybody else. So please just do us a favor when you come visit our rivers. We love having you guys here. We love having people experience how beautiful Florida is and all it has to offer, but just respect the rules and make sure that you guys stick to them. So, if you have any questions, just let me know down below in the comments. And please, guys, if you live here, keep it civil. Don't do the stupid thing where you're like, oh, don't come to Florida. No. Tourists, like, hello, come to Florida. It's a great source of revenue for our state. Just please be respectful of the beauty of our state when you come here. Don't throw trash. Don't, you know, be loud and obnoxious and blare music when you're on the river. Because, again, people live here. They pay a lot of money for their homes and property taxes and everything else. And just be respectful. Think about if it was you. Would you want people to be like that, you know, while you were trying to enjoy your own home? So that's it, guys. I hope that these 10 rules helped you for a future trip to Rainbow River. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask below. Remember, you can rent kayaks at KP Hole, also the Head Springs. And then there's also local places too. You know, just Google and look up. I will put in a couple links in the description box. So if you need help, you know, where the Google Maps is for KP Hole, for the Head Spring, and then also for some other things around town that you may want to hit up, and a local hotel. So if you're going to be here for a little bit, you know where to stay. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. We will catch you on the next adventure. Have a good one.